Hey everybody, welcome to Setta's Place. I will be doing a tutorial for this hat and cowl that I made for my January 2022 calendar cowl. It's very simple. It's just double crochets and single crochets and a little bit of some shaping on this back part for the cowl. So let's get started and I'll show you how I did this. I will be holding 2 strands of yarn together. I'm going to be using this really pretty blue yarn. I'm going to be holding 2 strands together. I'm going to be doing a sample, a smaller version, just and tell you how I made this one. So that's why I have some of it made already. So I can just show you the stitches I used, and I will let you know the measurements on this also, because if you don't want to use a bulky yarn or 2 strands held together, you can just use your regular yarn and go by measurements, because there is no stitch count. It doesn't matter how many you start with, it's just as long as you want it to be. All right, so let's do some measurements real quick first. From one end to the other of this one, let me measure it for you. Now I'm not going to measure this right here because our starting chain needs to be this one. This is done after it's over with. So I'm going to give you, starting with your solid color here, how long it is. And I have 38 inches. So your starting chain would need to be 38 inches if you're using, not bulky yarn or whatever yarn you decide to use. Your starting chain needs to be 38 inches. So this video is a companion video to go with the written pattern. So that means I won't be doing every stitch. I'm just going to show you basically how to construct this, and it goes with the written pattern. So this is going to be the sample piece I'm starting with. You will, after you have made your chain the length that you want it to be, I chained 102 stitches of the yarn doubled. That's how long my chain was for this one. Then you need to do 4 double crochet rows. I've only done 2 here, but so you would need to do 2 more. And that's these right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 4 double crochet rows, back and forth. And when you do that, you catch back up with you to do the next part. All right, so this is the end of your 4th double crochet row. You're going to fasten off. You can cut the yarn. So you want to have 17 stitches left open for this part right here. So once you find your center, you just go right down the middle. If you want to fold it, hold that center one right here. And then you count 8 on one side of that one and 8 on the other. So 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So you take your stitch markers, that's the center one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You mark that. Then you count 8 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this side. And those are your 2 markers, because that's where your neck space will go. Of course, for me, mine is smaller, so I won't need this many in between. I'll just put a few for the sample. So, okay, so now you have your marked space. With your contrast yarn color, you're going to attach on this side, on the right, and then you're going to attach to the first stitch. Single crochet back into the same stitch. And you're only using one strand of this because it's so fluffy that it does not need to be doubled. And you're going to single crochet all the way across until you get to the stitch marker. You can fasten off. So now you're going to get your other color yarn, attach in that last stitch where you just finished off at. And then you're going to turn. See, this is where you want to make a gradual incline. So where you attach, you will not go back into the same space. You will do your next stitch into the next single crochet. So you're going to do your double crochet into the next stitch, not into the same space you were just at, because you want it to lean over a little. Then you double crochet across until you get to the end. You see right here where it's leaning a little? That's what you want it to do. Double crochet across until you get to the end. And don't worry about the ends if it looks like this, because we're going to go back over all the way around the whole cowl with this yarn, so it'll just be covered up and you won't even be able to tell if it's a little bumpy, because that one is so fluffy. Then you can fasten off, or if you want to carry your yarn, you can, but I'll go ahead and fasten off. And then you attach your other color again. Where you left off, you attach. Chain one and turn. You can work over your tails if you like. Go back into the same space you came out of and make a single crochet. Then single crochet across in every stitch until you get over here into this last stitch. Now be sure to stop on this last stitch right here and not this right here. This is where you turned and you did your chain one. So make sure you stop right here on this last stitch. You can fasten off. Okay, now we have one more row of our double crochets in our solid color. Attach where you left off. Chain one, turn. And here you do not go into that same stitch where because we're still kind of making it incline. So you do your double crochet into the next stitch. And see, it's still leaning, which is what we want it to do. Then double crochet across. Okay, so now you have this incline, this slow incline, and we will be going around this whole thing with some single crochets. Okay, so that is your one side. You can fasten off. So that would be on here, it would be this one. Now we're going to start on over here. Get your contrast yarn color. Now you're basically going to do the same thing. You're going to attach to this side. Chain 1, single crochet back into the same space, single crochet across until you get to the stitch marker. Like that. Fasten off. Then attach to where you left off. This last single crochet. Chain 1, turn, and then you're going to do your double crochet, not back into the same stitch, but you're going to go on to the next stitch and do your double crochet and 1 double crochet until the end. So that is your repeat of those last 2 rows. So you can rewind and go back over and do what you did to these 2 right here. Go and add the rest of your rows to this side. Then I'll catch up with you when you have gotten there. Okay, I did both sides, they match. You can remove your stitch markers. Now we're going to go on all the way on the outside of your cowl with your this yarn. I'd start over here, that way you can go all the way around and come back on this side, right in the corner. Just attach. And we're just going to do single crochets all the way around. So let's chain 1 first. Go back into the same stitch. You can work over your tail and do a single crochet. And where there isn't any definite like stitches, defined stitches, just go in and get the best spot that you can without, you know, bunching up or anything like that. Now right here, when I got to this curve, I did not put 2 in the same stitch on the curve because I want it to angle down. But if for you, for some reason, if it's too tight, your stitches, or if you don't have the thick yarn, you can put 2 stitches on the corner to give it so it'll turn and come down. It all depends on how your tension is, but I didn't have to because of this nature of this yarn. Because I'm down here to in this corner right here, and I already did the stitch into this one, and then I just go on to the next with another single crochet. Okay, I've made it to this other end over here I wanted to show you. So I will do 2 single crochets in this corner to make it go around nicely. And then you just do your single crochets as best as you can or down the other side. So you continue on over top of everything. When you get to this corner, the same thing. You could put 2 single crochets to cut this corner, go around the bottom, 2 single crochets here, go up the side, and then you can add another single crochet to this one if it's needed. Okay, I'll see you when you get that finished. Okay, I made it to the end and I made it go, it went all the way around. Now you can go around again to another single crochet all the way around if you want it fuller, but I like it right where it's at. You cut off and end your yarn. So this is now what you should have, your full size cowl. Okay, so the buttons go on this side, on my right, and then you can place them anywhere you like to have them. You can put them on the corners if you want these to stay down, and up here, so you could put 4 if you like underneath, and then you could just attach it in any of the double crochets you have, like that, and there you go. And you have the spot where your neck goes right there. So we'll be starting on the hat. If you want to see how I made this, it's very simple also.